Hello, everybody. I'm Kenneth. I'm director of MyCash based in Singapore. Thank you for this opportunity for me to share about our company. As the picture shows, the goal of MyCash is to empower the migrant worker with the use of an app on their mobile phone. We offer each migrant worker affordable remittances and other payment services that are relevant to them, readily available on their fingertips. So why the migrant workers? There are 200 million migrant workers worldwide, remitting close to $1 trillion in 2019. The majority prefer not to remit via a bank. So we see an opportunity where 3/4 of this segment owns a smartphone and almost everyone has access to the internet. So just before lockdowns and social distancing becomes the norm, you can see migrant workers queuing for hours outside a remittance house simply to send money to their loved ones at home. With many banks going digital and the emergence of FinTech unicorns, the digital economy does not seem to do much for them. This is still happening, and I can't imagine if one of them has an emergency at home, how can this migrant worker provide for his family fast on a work day? So our solution, an app that is built explicitly for the migrant workers, offering relevant services and supporting them in a language they know. Though a super app that does many things, you won't see an option for stocks trading or even hotel bookings. These are things that the migrant workers do not need. We want to make it easy, straightforward, and convenient to use. So this is an end-to-end flow of the customer journey. One would need to only download the app and sign up for an e-wallet account with us. Upon signing up, the customer can verify or be KYC using document ID and facial verification technologies embedded in the app. Gone are the days where he needs to be in person to be KYC or verified. Next, the customer can top up their e-wallet by sending funds into our bank account in many ways. For example, using an ATM machine for bank transfer, using a cash deposit machine, a kiosk, or at our office. So with money in the e-wallet, they can spend it on various services on our ecosystem, such as remittance services, mobile and data top-ups, or purchase bus or air tickets online. So our business model is also very straightforward. We gain a commission from our partners for every transactions. And it is a commission that our partners would offer to any retailer anyway. So many of our partners are recognizable brands that our customers are familiar. They will be more assured remitting via a Western Union, Transfast, or banks that they already have an account in their home country. So MyCash is currently licensed in Australia and Singapore, and we hope to launch our service in Qatar soon via their FinTech sandbox. At this moment, our customer and focus are mainly Bangladeshis, yet we do see around 30% of other nationalities using our service. We wish to expand in other countries where there is a substantial Bangladeshi migrant community, like in the Middle East or Europe. So our strategy is simple. First, we use social media for engagement, like Facebook, where we do regular live streams to demonstrate how to use the app and inform them of any new features or services. We accept any questions and answer them during each live stream and encourage them to use our app. During the COVID-19 pandemic, when Singapore enforced a restriction of movement, many migrants are confined in their dormitories. So you can see the picture in the middle where where our team went down to the dormitories, dressed in PPEs, and teach them how to use our app. So although this is at the point of time, the dormitories were listed as a high-risk location, we continue to go there and engage with them and to assure them that they are still able to do remittance or to top up their phones or their data without having to leave their dormitories. So many migrant workers were relieved that they now have an easier way to be connected to the world and remit money on their phone. We also wish to open an office in areas popular among the workers. This office will act as an experience center where the workers prefer to have someone to guide them. So it's more of so to go down and ask for help and not so much to give us money to perform the remittance. So our strategy has shown results. Year on year, we see an increase in usage and volume. So we're expecting a higher growth come 2021. And the value of the app is also evident during the COVID-19 pandemic when mobility is restricted. During the lockdown starting in April this year, you can see that there's a spike in the usage of our app. So this is the senior management team behind MyCash. Our founder, Mahidi, is a migrant himself, a Bangladeshi who lived in Malaysia and Singapore for 15 years. So he understood the needs of his fellow countrymen living abroad. He also founded MyCash because he has found many services that is not readily available to him. And the rest of our team is a diverse mix of various ethnic groups operating in 3 different countries. So for our efforts, we have won several awards. One that we are very proud of was from the Singapore Central Bank. So last year we came in runner-up for the best solution in Southeast Asia, recognized by the Monetary Authority of Singapore. So over the years, we also appear in various media. So search for MyCash on the web and to find out more about us. Yep. So thank you, everyone. That's the end of my presentation.
Thanks very much, Kenneth, for your presentation. And let me start by inviting our panel of judges if they have any follow-up questions. I think Professor Douglas, if you'd like to go first, please.
Hi, Kenneth. Good presentation. Really enjoyed that. Thanks a lot. I guess two questions. The first is, how much have you worked with regulators or central banks in trying to address some of the issues, the barriers that your customers are running into?
Actually all of us actually works very closely with the central banks and regulators. This is a highly regulated service. Remittance are considered high risk everywhere around the world. So that is also a pain point for us to quickly venture to various geographical locations. We need to tackle one by one. We can't just put up our app and make it readily available for everyone when we are not legal to operate that. So there are cases whereby we communicate very closely with them. We of course, in each jurisdiction, we understand that they have different priorities. Some will want to have, some will focus a lot on their on AML, and many will be very focused on the money that is kept with us. Whether are they assured that the money will go through the home countries as expected or as required by the customers. So day in, day out, I think our life depends, our whole business also depends on the regulators, but we do see support. The thing is that we work with the Qatar FinTech Hub, and based on our relationship with them, we hope to be launched in Qatar next year. But of course, we need to see what are their concerns and how we can add value to them. Main thing, whenever we go to a regulator, we will want to tell them that, why is this necessary? Why is it important that you let us serve the migrant community? And why is it safer than other remittance house? A person can go to a remittance house to do a face-to-face KYC. Is that any safer than using technology that is already been in the market for years? It's not as safe. The app could be a safer option as well. So I do not know my long answer answered your question, but yeah, so that is what we do. Yeah.
And the second really relates to I guess focusing on the Bangladeshi community. Obviously, there's some roots there. It's a large group of migrant workers, remittances. What sorts of characteristics do you find that are unique to that group as compared to other remittance groups?
The migrant workers is a very difficult group of people to convince. as much as we like to be other fintechs, like big fintechs out there, we cannot simply put our app there and ask them to use it. We have to engage them in person. And the reason why we have to open an office or in a shop, on an outlet, is also because to give them the assurance that their money is safe. You're not going to run away with their money. A migrant worker is, first of all, is not tech savvy. So that is why we have to engage with social media. So engage them with social media, teaching them, how to use it, how to help themselves, so they don't have to go down to do it. Like the saying goes, you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, teach him how to fish, and he eats forever. So this is our goal, to teach them. So one thing is education, tech savviness. Another thing is that the initial of change. Sometimes they are very comfortable with what they want, or what they have been doing. They are not so keen in doing something new. So we need to engage them very closely to tell them that this is actually a simpler way to do remittance. And there are really plenty. I can think of many that is very different. And of course, language-wise, language is a very key, important thing. Most of us will know English. Even if we do not know English, we can simply go to Google Translate and we can find what it actually means. But the Bangladeshi workers, or rather other migrant groups, they won't do that. And they prefer to have someone speaking to them in their own language. Yeah.
Very good. Thanks for that.
Welcome.
Jay, would you like to go next?
Yes, Kenneth. Well, congratulations for all those prestigious awards that you have received. I know you will have more in the future. But I'm just wondering, in terms of fees, most of the migrants are concerned with the remittance fees, with high remittance fees. Well, in comparison with all the other companies doing the same business as yours, then how are you offering like lower fees, or how do you?
Like any other remittances? Sorry. So sorry, Jay. So your question is in terms of the fees. How do we charge the fees? Am I right?
No, I mean in terms of competition. Well, are you offering lower fees to the migrants, or yeah?
Yeah, you are right to point out that the remittance market is very competitive. Fees are lower each day. We are there to remain competitive as well. Some of this, how do we overcome it, right, is to go through direct partners, or to negotiate with our partners, like Western Union, or it could be some bank partners that we have, is that, look, if you give us an opportunity, we'll give you volumes. So please don't make it difficult for us. And we try to negotiate on the fees. The fees wise has to be competitive. So we do not want our migrant workers to pay a premium. We also can't keep them if we charge a fee higher than in the market. If one day when life is back to normal, they will surely go to other remittance house. So we have to keep it low and keep it competitive, but yet also offer them a premium service. Yeah.
Yes.
Did I answer your question?
I'm asking. Yes, it did. Just a follow-up question. Well, I noted that you said you're partnering with Western Union and the other remittance platform providers. So, do you charge any extra fee for the convenience that the consumers avail of, or the consumers enjoy when they automatically send money via your e-wallet instead of falling in long queue in Western Union branches and so on?
No, we don't charge a premium. What they see, the prices, we don't charge a premium.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jay.
Thanks, Jay. And let me invite our final judge, Clarissa, if you have any questions.
Yeah, Kenneth, thank you very much for that brilliant exposition. You said this is an app, right? Can you confirm that?
Yes, it is an app.
So what it means is that those who use features phone are out of this service?
Sorry? Those who use
Those who use features phone.
Yeah, correct. But the thing is that we have done our research and we feel that up to 74% owns a smartphone. And I feel that as time goes by, where phones are getting cheaper, smartphones are getting cheaper, we will then reach out to more people who don't get to use our service previously.
Thank you. Usually we know that women are on the receiving end of remittances. So for your market, do you have quite some women remitting? If you could share that kind of information, I'd be very grateful.
For women remitting, that means for the women to send money to other places, other countries? I'm sorry, just to clarify your question, Clarissa.
Yes.
Sorry. Yeah. The currently sorry. How do we mitigate that?
Yes, I meant women sending. Do you have women also sending? Because usually women are known to be on the receiving end of these remittances. And I'm asking if these migrant workers, we have women who are also sending back home. Maybe they are, what do you call them? Domestic helps who are sending money back home. Do you have such a population in your country using the
no.
MyCash? Thank you.
Currently such customers are very few because of the languages that we use. We are currently in English and in Bengali. So we reach out to Bangladeshi workers most of the time, and thus most of our customers are men working as construction workers and labor workers. We do see a handful that are domestic workers that are attractive with the rates and fees that we are charging, and thus they do send. Some of them they do send money to using our application, but they are not many. They're not substantial. Yeah.
Thank you, Kenneth. I'm done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks to our three judges for the questions. Kenneth, there's a few questions that have come in from our audience that I'd like to pose to you next. So the first question is a specific one. Is it possible to send money from Bcash to MyCash, Bcash being one of the major mobile financial services in Bangladesh, of course?
No, we do the other way around. We only send money from our wallet to Bcash, not the other way around. Of course, if there's such an opportunity, we would love to partner with Bcash to offer this service as well.
Okay, thank you. And there's two questions here that have been asked in French and are quite related. The first is whether you have come into any conflicts with clients that you have needed to resolve. And the second question is, if so, how did you go about resolving those conflicts? So any sort of disputes with consumers, and what's the process there?
I guess very much of the time we do have issues with our partners whereby the remittance are not instant, and these are usually due to technical issues. Definitely there are conflicts around, but we do support our customers on platforms that they are very familiar with. So 24/7 they can actually send us a text on WhatsApp in their language, and to tell us that, hey, look, I have this remittance, and my receiver have not received it. So the very first thing that we want to do is to give the assurance that, look, we are looking into their problem. Yes, we can't help you at the moment, but don't worry, we will try to solve the problem for you. So that is the number one. That's the key thing, because this money are hard-earned money from the migrant workers. They do not want to see their monthly salary just disappear in that way. So yeah, there's definitely conflicts, and how we resolve them is that we know of this problem, we alert our partners, we work closely with our partners, of course, abiding to the SLA that we have, the service level agreements that we have, and continuously engaging to the customer. Look, we are doing this, we are doing that. I know you're in urgent need. I'm sorry. And we will keep engaging it. And I find that this is actually very unique with MyCash compared to other companies, whereby if it's a retail outlet, the migrant worker have to travel down to town, have to commute to town and say and just mention what and ask why is my remittance not perform swiftly. So I hope that I answered this question. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that answer. And we have another question specifically related to how you manage the KYC, the Know Your Customer requirements. You mentioned some engagement with regulators on anti-money laundering. So what's your precise mechanism for managing this?
Okay, so we are licensed in Singapore. I must thank that the regulators in Singapore are more forward-thinking and forward-looking. They look into new technologies. So what we do is that we, of course, do not work alone. Also, we actually engage on FIDO. They are a document and facial recognition technology firm. Okay, so the process goes as simply as a customer, when they wanted to do a verification, or rather wanted to do a verification, they would first take a photo of the ID, front and back of the ID. And of course, with that, there is a OCR technologies that is involved. It populates into the form that we need information from, and then to verify with them whether the information on the form is as per your ID and whether is it correct. And of course, we need more details from them as per the regulatory requirements here in Singapore. And the next step that they do is to take a selfie. Okay, so this technology does two things. One, it checks whether the ID is an authenticate ID, whether is it a picture or is it or is it a mock ID? It will check whether the ID is real or not real. Then second, what they do is that they will take the photo on the ID and match the selfie that was done, and to see whether the person who did the selfie matches with the person on the photo on the ID. Of course, the thing is that while we only accept selfie, we don't accept any other photos that is being uploaded to the phone. We only accept a selfie that was taken on the day of registration. And then once the details have been collected, we have collected all the information that we need, we will send it through a screening system whereby we screen with OFAC and all the other sanction lists that is available in the market to ensure that this individual is a fit and proper person to be on board as our client. Of course, we do have our own compliance policy. If it's a PEP, what do we do and all that. But mostly they are migrant workers. It is unlikely that we have a PEP or a politically exposed person on our to sign up on our app. And another thing that we do is that every year, or rather very soon, this will be our first year of operations in Singapore. We will get an auditor to audit on our verification KYC process. That has to be done as part of our regulatory requirements in Singapore. The auditor has to check whether it performed as we claim that it has performed before they can sign off on the audit report. So I hope I have answered that question.
Thank you so much. And Kenneth, we have 1 minute left and there's one question left. So if you could very briefly answer our final question, please, which is from Seto. And Seto is asking about cybersecurity. So how robust is your app to prevent hacking and loss of funds?
Yeah, of course, the thing is that based in Singapore, we do have regulatory requirements on technology risk. We will definitely be secured, and we will have to. It's a technical question, so I'm trying to think the term for it. So we would then, of course, have auditors and someone to test our system. Every year, we would do a penetration test on our system to ensure that it is that is secured. And then of course, with other information data and how we manage the data, there are established policies regarding data in Singapore or in the countries that we're operating in. So we always follow guidelines on that, and we always get an auditor to check on our security as well. Yep.
Great. Thank you, Kenneth, and thanks very much for presenting today and answering all of our questions.